Scrappy friends, big welcome to my YouTube channel again today. Melinda here with you, and I have a this is a layout for cut to you, but I showed you right at the beginning there the same photo on a different scrapbook page. So this is also part of my Layouts Rejuvenated series, which I started last year or maybe even the year before, and I've done, I think this is number 6 in the series. So yes, I'm redoing a page that I didn't love, and I'm using this beautiful cut file from Cut to You. It is called Floral Wall Hanging, and I'm using the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Storyteller Collection. If you didn't know, it has been, obviously it is a Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection, but it was co-designed with the amazing Tracy Reed, so I couldn't not have this collection. It's beautiful. I have printed my photo. I did play with this a bit in Photoshop just to get the positioning right so that I wasn't covering up anyone's face with that floral. And it is printed at 6x4. I've put a layer behind that, and you can see I've used the wood grain pattern paper as the cut file, and then I've backed the florals using the A5 paper stack. And I'm going to use so I cut there you go, I cut that right from the center of this piece of pattern paper so that I knew I could use it for something else. When I cut it, I didn't have the intention of using it like this, but I'm super glad I did. I'm using this blue watercolory paper for my background, and I'm going to adhere this so that it looks like it is hanging, like it's a wall hanging, basically. I've got some of this ribbon, and I'm just going to fold it over on the back of the heart there, stick it down. I'm going to use my mini heat press to straighten that ribbon out, because you can see it's all bunched up and not doing what I want it to do. But I started this layout ages ago, and I've come back to it to finish it off. I've added some white stitching around the edge there, and I like that look that it gives to the page. And so here is where I'm going with this. I'm going to, what am I doing? Just making sure that it's good to be stuck down, I think. Making sure I'm happy with the placement there. Here I am with my mini heat press. FYI, make sure you stay tuned to the Cut to You blog over the next little while. I have a fun share. Anyway, so I'm using my T-square ruler. I want to make sure this is straight. There's nothing more annoying than a picture on the wall that is not straight. So I'm going to glue that down, and as I glue it down, I move it. So then I have to go back in with my T-square ruler, which I don't make you watch. I've added some sticky tape to the back of that ribbon, well, to the top of the ribbon, that I can just fold over when I knew I had this in place. And then I can stick down both sides, pull it so it's firm, and then snip off the excess. I am going to go back over it, over that top line with my sewing machine again. I wasn't 100% happy with how I'd gone over the top. I'm just sticking, making sure that's stuck down, and I kept the inside pieces from the frame here. I've popped those up on some foam tape, and I'm just going to re-add them back in. I actually couldn't find that little piece that goes on the right hand side of the top there. I looked and looked and looked and looked and couldn't find it. So while I'm working here, I have very much got in my mind that I need to cover up that little bit of the frame that is missing, but you see later that I find it, which I'm very excited about. Like I said, I'm using the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Storyteller Collection, and I choose to go with this title together. It's from the black foam titles in the collection, and I start with my title being Happy Together. I kind of felt like I didn't know what I was doing when I was creating this page. It's funny how that works, isn't it? How long is too long a break for you that you kind of feel like you have no idea what you're doing? if you take a break for any particular reason, whether it's a chosen break or a week's gone past and I haven't picked up any pattern paper or glue or scissors. You can see I'm just having a bit of a play here, trying to work out what I want to embellish with. I really love that banner along the bottom of the photo. And I couldn't decide which one I wanted to use. I think you see me switch that out a couple of times. I liked the way that little banner looked down there as well. Like I said, I did struggle with this one for a little bit. I did keep some of it in, but not much, because it was a bit painful to watch, I'll be honest. Flicking through, making sure I don't want to use any more of those bigger pieces. Because my photo is not that big. I think it's only 6x4. But that cut file is really big, and it's like, boom, right in the center of the page. I didn't want to add too much, but I knew I wanted to add something. So that's what I'm kind of struggling with here. I'm like, I want to add something. So you can see I'm starting here. I've got the butterflies from the die cut pack. You can see I am covering up that right hand side of the frame. I've got a dark blue butterfly, a yellow one and a pink one. And that's kind of where I start with my embellishing. I'm going to make sure I've got those 3 colours in those 3 areas. So you can see I'm playing here with the hearts from the die cut pack. You can see I'm put it all on, I've taken it all off, I'm like, meh. And I've taken it all off again. I'm like, yes, I'm really happy with where that is. I'm going to stick that down. Pretty sure that, no, I didn't go to bed yet. Here I had that sticker down the bottom. I thought I could add my journaling in there. And then I was like, I know what's not right here. I'm going to take that word happy off. I'm going to add in this wooden button. I'm like, yes, I'm liking this a lot better. Take off this sticker. And now I have got the chipboard butterflies from the collection. So you can see I'm going to put those in the same places again, or roughly the same places. Pop that back in. I'm like, yes, no, yes. Maybe I get it to this point. I'm pretty happy with that, I think. And then I'm like, okay. I'm not sure about these butterflies, so I'm going to stick down my camera, my little camera on the wood epoxy button thing. I know I'm happy with that. These butterflies, what I'm going to do. So I was like, I want to keep everything fairly central here. I'm going to add my journaling in down the bottom. I grabbed my lead pencil and I'm going to add my journaling in here. Now I have copied this straight across from my other page, which is why you see me going back and forward. And it reads, enjoying lunch together at the Mandurah Chocolate Factory celebrating Mum's 60th birthday. And then I'm going to come in and stamp that with my little date stamp. And I'm like, yes, I like the way the butterfly fits in there. I like where the other 2 butterflies are. And you can see here, this is the next day. I've stuck down my butterflies, but you can see on the right hand side there, I've got that little piece of wood frame. I was so excited when I found it. I stuck it down, which meant that I could move that yellow butterfly down, and I felt like that added a bit of a better balance. But again, I got stuck at this point. I was like, what am I going to do here? And I decided to add in some little butterfly trails. You can see I showed you I drew in some butterfly trails with my lead pencil, and then I've got some white embroidery floss here that I am just going to hand stitch along those. Because they are so small, it didn't take very long. So I like that extra little detail. I like the different texture that it gives. Everything on my page at the moment is pretty much everything on my page at the moment is paper. So I really like how that turned out. It's really cute. I've also erased my pencil lines where my journaling was, and I'm showing you there that I added the stitching over the top of that. From here, I just add a few more bits and pieces, making sure that I have got all the colours in those 3 areas. So I've got the blue, the yellow and the pink, and I've got the stitching in the 3 areas. And so then I'm like, okay, what next? I'm going to add in one of these die cut hearts in each of the colours. Then I'm going to add in some of these black foam hearts from the foam titles. Just got to move things around to get the placement exactly right. I think I'm looking for a different size heart there, but I end up not getting a different size heart anyway. You can see I'm moving it all over the place because, you know, it has to be in just the right place. You can see I'm kind of starting to build a little triangle of embellishments. I felt like I wanted to add in a couple of these little phrases. So I do, I add in two. One says happy memory and the other says my fave. I'm going to pop those up on some foam. And I like the way they just kind of nestle in there. I do try to add it in, as you saw, in a couple of different places, but gave up on that idea. Didn't love it. Just adding the foam tape here. I use my T-square ruler. No. Oh, so I'm sticking everything down now. I only leave this little bit in. I use some foam to pop up my hearts and those two little word strips. And then my T-square ruler to stick that down because it must be straight. Once I've got one straight, I'm pretty confident that I can eyeball the other one. To add a little bit of extra texture and dimension, I'm just going in and adding in a few pop dots underneath some of the edges of that floral. I've got the little puffy hearts here. They're so cute. I love them. And again, I'm making sure the colour that's missing from each cluster is now into that cluster. So I've got a blue butterfly, a pink heart and a yellow butterfly, a blue heart, and then a pink, that is pink heart. And then down the bottom here, I've got the pink butterfly, the yellow heart, and the blue heart. And then I've got some enamel dots. I wanted to add a bit more white, and I thought this was the best way to do it. I'm going to add in 3 clusters of 3 enamel dots, just in a triangle around those 3 clusters. So you can see I've added those in, and then I'm like, this needs black splatters. So I've got my white, no, that is not white, my black watercolor gouache paint here. I'm just adding a few splatters, pretty much sticking to those 3 like embellishment areas. And then I think I turn the camera off and decide that I want some more white. So I come back in with some white paint splatters as well. And I'm really happy with how that ends up. I will pop up a photo of my before and my after. Let me know which one you prefer. I am really super happy with my second version. And you know, leave me a comment as well. Have you ever redone any of your layouts? And if you have, what has been the thing that made you go, yes, I'm going to redo this particular layout because, you know, I don't like it, or it doesn't speak to me, or maybe you don't talk to that person anymore. I think that I forgot to mention the people in the photo is obviously myself. There is my little sister, my mum, and my auntie. So yeah, as always, thank you ever so much for stopping by and choosing to spend your scrappy time with me. If you have any questions, please make sure you drop them below. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I will see you in my next process video. Have a fantastic scrappy day.